Today on Heroines, we'll be showing you how to use composition effectively in your drawings. And who better to feature than the cool and composed Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. Composition is the arrangement of elements that helps us see them as a whole. So the placement of each character in our drawing, if done well, should immediately give us information about their relationship with each other. To demonstrate this, we'll be using Ripley, Jonesy, and the alien. Let's get into it. So let's start by blocking out Ripley's pose. As the last survivor of the Nostromos, she deserves to be right in the center of this piece. Don't you dare ignore her.
Will you listen to me, Parker?
Creeping up behind her will be the Xenomorph, ready to attack at any moment. That gun placement we originally sketched out is now starting to look a little weird.
You got a better idea?
Let's tilt it down a bit so that the end of the gun isn't crowded in that area by Ripley's shoulder. But that's better. Doesn't that feel more balanced? Drawing is all about trial and error, so don't be afraid to move things around. That's what Ctrl-Z is for. The end of the gun is now directing your eye towards the bottom of the piece, which is where we'll be placing Jones. We've wrapped his tail around Ripley's leg to show that their survival was dependent on each other. If you're drawing characters that have eyes, use it to your advantage in your composition. People will instinctively follow someone else's eyeline, which is why we have Jones looking up at Ripley, who is then looking at the alien. Because xenomorphs don't have any visible eyes, let's use its long head to direct the viewer's attention to the left and around and right back down at Jones. Now that we have all three characters roughly blocked out, let's see how it holds up to the rule of thirds. This is probably the most well-known rule of composition. Divide your image into 3 horizontal and 3 vertical parts. The points where the lines meet are where our eyes are most naturally drawn to, so place your most important elements near those points. And look! The heads of all of our characters fall roughly around those points. Good job, us. While Ripley is regarded as one of the greatest sci-fi heroines of all time, there is a parallel universe where she isn't played by Sigourney Weaver, but by a male actor. The original screenplay was written with the intent that the characters could be played by any gender. But seeing as it was an explodey, blow-uppy space film in the late 70s, the screenwriters never considered a woman for the role of Ripley. Women were not stars of action movies at that time. They were the damsels in distress, the eye candy, the ones who stood around waiting to be saved. And so when some mythical executive proposed the idea to Ridley Scott of the lead being a woman, he was on board. Everything else about Ripley remained the same, which resulted in a rare case of a well-written, complex female character. Imagine that. Ripley is tough and feminine, destroying all previous notions of what a female lead could be. In the first film, we see her take charge and take no shit. In the sequel Aliens, we get to see her maternal side, when she cares for the orphan Newt as if she were her own. Her coworkers deliberately disobey her, and a group of executives gaslight her about her experiences, adding an extra layer of depth to Ripley because she is a woman. Let's be real, what woman at work hasn't thought, oh my god, why won't they just listen to me? When you have overlapping characters, it's important to be mindful of their silhouettes. Make sure you use negative space to your advantage. See the gaps near the alien's hip and crotch? They keep the alien clear and readable, even with Ripley and Jones covering parts of its body. To help Ripley further stand out against the alien's black exoskeleton, we've added a rim light to her big, fantastic 80s hair. In reality, the creature should be towering over Ripley, but they're about the same height in our piece. That's because Ripley is an equal adversary, and she can absolutely kick its scaly ass. The last step we're going to take is turning down the opacity of the alien, in this case, adding a slightly transparent layer of white. Not only does it add a sense of mystery and creepiness, it also pulls Ripley and Jones into the foreground. And there we have it, a well-balanced piece featuring the most iconic sci-fi heroine. Even if you haven't seen the film, and seriously, it's been 4 decades, catch up, you can gather a lot of information about these characters because of the composition. So when tackling your own drawings, remember to have clear focal points, apply the rule of thirds, be mindful of silhouettes, and play around with size. But most importantly, have fun with it. Who are some other out-of-this-world heroines you'd like us to draw next? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like Gamma Ray on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube.